Travel! Another week. Another step closer to completing the goal. Hopefully. Over here. We got to start it out with our traditional meal. Okay. It's weird that all Pokemon come from eggs, right? Except for Mew. Or Mewtwo. Well, no. Did Mew come from an egg? Which one was the clone? Mewtwo, right? And Mew's legendary. So I guess the legendary Pokemon don't necessarily come from eggs. And even at this point, they've gone further down with how things work. But all the breedable Pokemon come from eggs. Just all the types. There's no mammal. Pokemon mammals? Are Pokemon real or not? Pokemon are fictional creatures and therefore cannot actually be mammals. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, no. Technically, no. They cannot possibly be mammals. Because they can all be hatched from eggs. Except the legendaries, which may still be hatched from eggs. It's just not a thing. They can't be bred after the fact. It's probably not okay to think of them as real. You know, you get into the moral grounds of what we do with these little friends that then people then make fight. For our enjoyment. The moral side of it. We don't need to add that into here. Because that would be... The Pokemon are definitely eaten, unfortunately. They talked about that in the cartoon. I'm sure it's been talked about in some of the games too. They eat the Slowpoke tail. That was the official one that said yes. It's definitely a thing. It's not even a question whether or not some Pokemon are eaten, but... Why could Meowth talk? Did they ever explain that? That's weird too, right? Look, this is a dark road that we're going down. This path of Pokemon being sentient beings already that then fight for our amusement, but also could be helpful. Like, it's cool, but then some people eat them, so they're not quite pets. Well, they are, clearly, but they're more than that. And some of them can be fully sentient and talk with people and extremely intelligent. And yet... What was the, there's a video, an epic rap battle of history. I remember the line from it very well, where it was, Ash Ketchum versus, Darwin? The guy who founded, or theorized evolution, and, like, made it mainstream, maybe? That was the whole thing. I think that was the point, was evolution, both of them. There was a line in it specifically where he calls Charles Darwin, he calls Ash Ketchum Mighty Morphing Michael Vick. Oh boy, yeah, that one's... Yeah, it's a little murky. It's fine, it's fictional. Like, I could separate, you know, we don't have to really dive into the specifics and try to make it realistic. It is a fictional world, and things can happen in fiction that are not realistic. There's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly fine. But if you were to think about it in that way, it's weird. It's definitely weird. But you know what I'll never have to do? Explain to a child what the difference is between the make-believe and why it's okay to play a game that, in this way, does glorify violence between animals, but why that would not be okay in real life at all. I don't have to do that because I won't have children. I already know that. I have no desire or interest in having children. So I don't ever have to get stuck with that. I could make it much worse on some parents. If I had a nephew or niece or something like that and the kid's playing Pokemon, and I could just be like, now why is it okay for animals to do that? Just plant that seed and walk away and let the parents deal with that. Jerk move. Would not do that. Would be funny though. It does remind me of a time that my older sister was interacting with someone's child, a young kid who was talking about a new Pokemon. The kid is so excited and he's going on about like, oh, I know which Pokemon this one is because it has 4 arms. My older sister goes, well, actually, there's more than one that's 4 arms, and we just are like all the adults of us are sitting around cracking up. That one is still one that we'll bring up from time about the time that she will actually the child. Which is true. There are more than one Pokemon who has 4 arms. Oh boy. What a staple. That is a cool thing. I do think about that in the fact that I was a child at one point and Pokemon meant the world to me. And it's slightly less so now, but clearly look at what I'm doing. It still is pretty important. Because I'm playing a crap ton of Pokemon. But that is an interesting thing to see how far it has come and is still relevant clearly and will continue to be so. There was a time before Pokemon. Obviously. But in my lifetime, I was born in 1991. And it started in, what, 95? I want to say that's the right date. 95? I wasn't making memories at that point. I've had this conversation with Boar before because I was surprised. For some reason, I did not have very many early memories that I can remember or recall at all. Some of my friends were like, I remember my 3rd, or, you know, people I've talked to, 3rd birthday or something like that. And they have very clear memories about things that can be dated and proven, you know? And like I saw it because Star Wars didn't exist before. Some people who are older than me being like, I saw it at this point, and they very clearly remember seeing it in theater as a very young child or something like that. Or they had a Star Wars themed birthday party or whatever it was. It's like that couldn't possibly exist because I'm talking about A New Hope here, the very first Star Wars. So it's not like they could misremember that if they remember the birthday very well, unless they're misremembering which birthday it was. But, you know, there's also photographic proof and things like that. And that helps with your memory as well, right? That if you see something, a photo, you can put yourself into that moment and throw back. I don't remember if we had a lot of those photos. No, I think the earliest one I can remember was like 6th or 7th birthday because there was a whole thing with a cake. But I don't really like that's multiple years. So I guess the point I was getting at is that by the time I became a conscious being and was making memories that have stuck around, Pokemon already was a big thing. And I don't remember when I got into, what was the first experience with it? It may have been the game. It may have been, we were always late on stuff. Nobody was going out and getting things as soon as it existed. That's not how the world worked at that point for us, certainly. Where would we have heard about certain things? But it didn't, you know, like, I think the Game Boy Color was already out by the time we got a Game Boy. Like, as a family, somebody got a Game Boy. It was definitely later on. But I do remember the Pokemon. And it was like, everybody was into it. Like, all the way from the oldest sibling, who would have been older. Not 18, no. Somewhere, but mid-teenagers years. To the youngest sibling, which wasn't even... Was I the youngest sibling? No. No. There would have been 1 or 2, depending on the time range. But anyway, It was an everything. Like I very much remember playing it, and the older siblings played it, and the younger siblings played it. Like everybody played Pokemon of some way, and like collecting the cards. That was something that the next sibling older than me and I really liked doing, was getting the cards. I remember very distinctly opening a pack while at a friend's house down the street and pulling out a Charizard, a holographic Charizard, and flipping out and walking like it was an egg. Like if I dropped it, it would have exploded or something, walking it back up to the house to put it in a binder. I remember that. Very excited about something like that. I think that's the Charizard I still have. I'm sure I talked about that in the video where I went over the cards that I still have. So it was always around, even if I dropped off for a while, and now clearly am back in it more than before. That's an interesting concept that it will probably exist my entire life. I can't see, for something that, like, other things come and go, right? There's definitely other things that are around that have their time and then fade out. And there are more than enough people who will talk about why Pokemon's not the same, why it's garbage, all the negatives about it. And there are ones who will talk about the positives. And I'm kind of in the middle. I recognize that it's not perfect, but I also have fun with it, so that's all I need. But it's still going strong. I don't think Nintendo's going to go out of business. And even if they did, even if something catastrophic happened, and they sold off the Pokemon license, somebody else would just start making it. And it's such a big thing that even if there was a time period, and people could argue that it already has gone through that, because it's not really Nintendo, is it? It's Game Freak in Nintendo. I don't know what the ownership status is, but even if it went down and they just turned it into a cash cow, some could say that it already has been turned into that, which would negatively affect it. It's going to come back around. It's going to get picked up at some point, just like so many other things that have a renaissance after their heyday and come back around. There will be, it'll just take a certain amount of time before it gets into the hands of somebody who's like, I grew up with Pokemon as a kid. Look what they've done to it now. I need to restore that. I'm sure that there are some people who have already said that's happened with the Pokemon Let's Go, because they literally brought it back around in a way that some people really liked and some people didn't. I liked it. I liked Pokemon Let's Go a fair amount. It was fun to get back into that original world and kind of play around. I played it handheld on the Switch. That to me was the best way to do it, because the throwing mechanic with the Joy-Con was... I gave it one shot and went, I'm not interested in doing this. But yeah, I think that this could be a forever... I mean, it would take a nuclear event. Something that, you know, a catastrophic, unrecoverable human event to actually end Pokemon. A couple more eggs here. Maybe we talk about something a little happier. Anyway, I think it will always be around in some way, shape, or form. Because I'm sure that you could look at it and be like, popular interest peaked in the 90s and dipped and came back and dipped and came back, and has done that multiple times. It's definitely back around now. I mean, there are people who make entire careers playing Pokemon games. And I like... You think that doesn't happen because there aren't people interested in the game? It offers so much to a wide variety of audiences. There's enough for really hardcore nitty-gritty. There are people who go so much harder on it than I'm doing. I'm just trying to collect the forms. I'm not trying to get a shiny, complete Pokedex or like the perfect IVs. There's a lot of ways that you can go down into it and really get down into nitty-gritty details, and not for me. But that is enough that, like, they do have to do that balancing act. I would really be interested to know just how much work and effort goes into making a Pokemon game, because there are they do have to balance that. They have to make it fun. They have to make it something that children are going to enjoy, while also appealing to a more hardcore audience. What? Stop. Stop. I'm pressing all the wrong buttons here. I think I was just going to start with Tandemaus here. I think it'll be easier if I kind of group them up. So if we just put a few here, make a row there. Let's pull you. Since I can't swap more than one at one time for some reason, put you there. That's 2 full rows. We'll take you out. Let's go. All right, we have a Coalossal. He's a fire, isn't he? Let's see here. Let's go to the savanna biome. No, let's go to the savanna biome here, because I think we'll find more grass. It's a guess. I don't know that for sure. But then we'll have the type advantage. Could be cool if that worked. Let's see. Is there anything else I need to know about this? I wonder if I should find eggs to speed up the evolving process too. Did I just say eggs? A meal. I should look up a food for when it comes time to do this part of it, where I go eat a different meal that would bump up. Oh, so I'm mostly rock. Okay. Okay, so we don't want that one for sure. We need something quicker than that. Something that will hit. Probably should have just done Heat Crash again. Let's set up. We never really, I mean, this one's never been set up for moves before. To fight. There we go. One fight got them to level 20. That's good. Here, let's let's come in here. Let's see here. Let's change your moves around. Because, let's see here. We don't want that. That one's not bad. I don't want that. No. I'd take a smackdown over a stealth rock. I'd like a second fire move. So we have incinerate, which is a 60%. It's at 50. It's got 15. Yeah, okay. We'll do that and swap out the one that's might miss. We don't need to do a ton of damage, but we do need reliability here. Because we're not going up against anything super... We're level 66. These are similar. So this one gives a good... Oh, there's a Chansey over there. Let's try Incinerate, see if we get a one hit. No charm. We don't need that. We definitely don't need that. Okay, so still not. Not as what I was hoping for there. If we could have a quick attack, like move, for speed, but the damage of something that would knock him out in one hit, that's the ideal move, but... Got them all to 24. Okay. Well, you're not quite what I was hoping for there. But I still see that Chansey. I might just be able to swap all the ones out. Oh, sweet. Rock. Okay. Oh, I should have swapped rock glass. That one, 2 to 5 moves. Sounds cool. But it's just going to take a while. Am I skipping this stuff? Yeah, this might not be the fastest. It definitely might be faster to swap out Coalossal for something else when it comes time to fight. I mean, I could level them all the way up, right? Until we got to the point where... Yep, all family. Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, it won't let me do this, right? For some reason, I can't swap. Which really doesn't make any sense to me, considering... I can do this. Like, you can do that in the other games. I don't know why they didn't put it in here. But yeah, let's get somebody else to fight. We've been using you because you weren't a level 100. So I was just getting them all up, but we do have everything to a 100 now. I just like Cerulege. You look cool. Chancy! Hello. Nope, come back here. Come. Get on back here. Hey. What just happened? I wanted to fight that. It was going to give me a lot of experience. At a certain point, it doesn't make sense to continue looking. So what? Okay. Let's see here. We have... You're a normal, right? What are you? Are you normal too? Okay, they're both normal types. So is there a meal? Let's start researching. Search powers. Bitter blade. Sandwich. Meal powers. Catching power. EXP point power. Okay, so it's just across the board. I don't have to find something that like makes them specifically. Okay, so we need to look up that. Where is my sandwich calculator website? While we go into another one. Discover the Psycho Cut. Let's see if we can find a level 2 XP. Oh, wait. Normal XP point? So that is possible. Calculate. Is that possible? Is that how that works? Because I don't know. I don't really do the sandwiches all that much. Still calculating. Is it not possible to do that? I don't think the type comes into effect, according to the... other website. No? Okay. No, it is... Okay, so it is... Go back. Okay. So there's the sandwich. There's a sandwich in creative mode, creative mode, creative mode. I think I know why it took so long. They're all sandwiches. No Herba Mystica. I don't... It's not worth it to try and... It's not worth it to use those one-time special hard-to-get items. I'd rather find a restaurant. That's why we did the other one. Sure, we could have had a level 3, but is that worth it considering... Oh, look, they all leveled up. Is it worth it considering that... over here. That like, it would take so much time and be a limited thing. This one is repeatable. So it seems like there are no restaurant. There is simply... I'm sorry, I put no Herba Mystica. Okay, so there is a creative mode sandwich that I could do. They would give me 2 times... or a level 2 experience power for normal type. So it's not like we have to get them up that far. It would just be a little bit faster to do that if I started swapping in that one. Let me see if there's a level 1 that I could just get from a restaurant, because then even easier, right? Just show me restaurant. Okay, yeah, see, there are restaurants for sure. There's 2 options. Medali. Lemon gelato. So I have 3 choices. We could get a bean soup. We could get a lemon gelato. Or we could get a fizzy pop ice cream. Technically, I'm not real worried about the cost here. Hey, what's this? Is that anything I care about? Sure isn't. Yeah, we'll just hit you up while I look at this. I guess I should have left my my note-taking stuff over here, because I no longer have the sticky notes or the pen. Whoops. But yeah, this is fine. Having a restaurant meal that gives me a bonus here, it'll just make it a little bit faster. I don't know what the experience points calculator actually goes up by. 10%. Wow, level 50% is a level 3. 10% more experience. It'd be a couple, you know, a little bit faster each time. Where did that... Where did you go? Did you disappear? You were right here a second ago. One that would have given me more experience. Alright, well, come here. I just need one more level on this one. It'll just go a little bit faster, but then the routine, it's more about that. That's why I'm thinking about it here, is that I start every episode regardless of what I'm doing, going and getting a restaurant meal. That way I won't forget, because I have to do it every time. And it's either the egg power, or it's the... over here. Oh. Just line them all up. Let's see, what do we have? There's a row. Just Tetris them on in here. While I'm there. Okay, I pressed the button by accident. Obviously, we're not going to go worry about it now, because we're about to start a new episode momentarily. Well, in a week, right? Definitely in a week. Not just minutes after, because I'm doing a batch recording today. But now I know to go get a meal. Can I get it in the same place I'm doing the other one? Because that would be even easier. Would be if one of the meals from the same place. It doesn't look like it. Wait. Is it? No. Do. Oh, if I switch where I'm going, I can get both. Okay. So that's what we'll have to do. Which means my note won't be... I really didn't leave a pen over here, huh? Did not help myself out in that regard. We are almost there at the end of this one. This Chansey might take us out. Let's see if one of these 5 is the one. We've leveled up several today. Are you the one? Anybody? Anybody? Family of 3, family of 3. Here we go. Nope. Ah, well. We'll start out with these guys next time. Let's just clean up the box a little bit. Do a little bit of box management here. Family of 4. Family of 4. Well, that was a mistake. I was hoping I could just swap them in and out, but now we are set up. Next time we will start with our new meal. We will go discover a restaurant, and we will move on to capturing more of this. Maybe one of these. These are the last tandem mouse that I have in this batch. Then we have to do all the Dunsparce, and we will remember next time we breed them to do the Dunsparce the way that we need to do it, so they know Hyperdrill already. We'll get to that point. I have a note about it. That's it, everybody. No progress made this week. Well, okay, some progress made this week, just in general, by the fact that we still evolved 5, 10, 15, 20 here, but no family of 3. I really hope it would show in the icon. That would be pretty deceptive if it did not show in the icon, but I actually don't know that for sure. I think I'll look that up next episode. See if I can find a screenshot from somebody's image who has the family of 3, just to make sure that it hasn't already happened and we missed it because it shows 4 on the preview. That would be pretty deceptive, wouldn't it? All right, next week. See you, everybody.